efficient and replace it with rooftop units that will actually heat and cool efficiently. So we also have ADA issues. When a building was built in the 1930s, they didn't consider ADA requirements and the need for people with disabilities to access everywhere in the facility. So we want to fix those issues. It's going to take $10 million to do that. And at 1.5 a year, plus all the other needs around the district, that's pretty tough. On top of that, we have some real serious concerns at Carbon High School. The number one concern being student safety. We live in a world where, unfortunately, you know, there are threats to schools. We see on the news far too regularly the problems that exist when a school is not secure. And we want to make sure our school is secure, but there's a lot of challenges with that at Carbon High. The office is in the middle of the building. You walk in and you can access all kinds of places before you go to the office. You don't even have to stop at the office, and you can just keep going. The other problem is we're running out of room, so we put 4 portables, 8 classrooms in the back. If you drive back there, it's awesome. Please take a look. They're calling it Winfrey Estates Trailer Park back there. But that's a safety hazard because we have classrooms outside the building and we have to keep those doors open. When I first came here, I walked back there and I went right into the school, and it's bothered me this every day since, thinking that anyone could go to the back of that school and walk in and nobody would even know they were there. So we need to fix that. We also, because of the increased classes, numbers at the high school, we have other needs that have to do with concurrent enrollment and being able to broadcast college classes. If any of you have had students who would like to take college classes and they've been denied because there's no access to the class, that's frustrating. So USU is great, they're super partners, but with broadcast classrooms, we would have the option of taking advantage of any class that's being taught anywhere in USU, Blanding, Moab, Logan, here. And it just opens up all kinds of opportunities for our kids. But we need the space. We need the broadcast classrooms to do that. We also have an old boiler there at Carbon High. When all's said and done, we need to build an addition, and we have a plan to build that in the courtyard area. It's a great plan, in my opinion. We can still hold school while construction is happening. We would be able to take care of all of the concerns that we have. Additional classrooms, we would secure the entry, we'd be able to secure the perimeter of the whole building, and it would take care of those problems for us. Finally, I just want to address a couple of frequently asked questions. And the first one that comes to us all the time is, why are you focused on Helper? Why don't you just close that school? And from the outside looking in, it seems like a no-brainer. There's 180 kids. We're already busing kids over to Carbon High anyway. But there are factors that most of the people don't understand. One of them is, a long time ago, Helper Middle School was considered a necessarily existing small school. It was a small school that needed to exist because it served a small town. And because of that, that school started receiving money from the state called Necessarily Existing Small Schools money. And that's $500,000 a year. If we were to build a new school, or if we were to close that school, we would lose that $500,000 because they would say, well, at that point, it's a different school, and they would reassess, and we actually don't qualify now for the funding if we were to apply today. Back then we did, and so we're grandfathered into the program. the state doesn't believe they can pull that funding from us because that's the only way we run the school. But we really don't qualify for it. So anyway, we would lose that funding, and that's how we pay for virtually all of the operational costs at Helper Middle. So if we were to close the school, dump all those kids at Mount Harmon, we wouldn't be able to take all the teachers and aides and services with them. They would just be extra kids with no extra help because of that. So for all of those reasons, we believe the best option is to make the building safe and structurally sound and make it to where it'll last for the next 20 years. And then who knows where we'll be and what our county will be like. We all hope that it will be different. The other big question is, why aren't we building a new high school? The new high school concept has been one of the first things that I heard when I came 2.5 years ago, and it's still something that's being brought up. But reality is, the new high school in Roosevelt, Utah, cost $85 million, and comparable cost at Richfield, Delta, you know, all these places that everyone points to and says they have a new high school. How come we don't have a new high school? Well, it's because it costs $85 million to build a new high school. And when we have a structure that's actually very safe and sound, and it's going to last a long time, we figure we can get basically a new school with the addition and all the renovation that we plan to do on the existing building for a fraction of the cost. So we believe this is the most conservative, most